Hi folks, well today we're going to be looking at a head-to-head between Lenovo and Dell. We're basically talking about the Lenovo Yoga 3 Pro versus the Dell XPS 13, this 2015 version, which is the latest one, which has got all the smart end-to-end infinity screen and stuff like that. We're going to see what they're like together. As you can see from a straight quick look through, the Lenovo is a bit larger, primarily because it doesn't have this infinity screen, so it's got quite a large bezel around there. But there's also other things that Lenovo can do that the Dell can't, of course. The Dell, on the other hand, is very svelte, very sleek, no bezel around the screen at all. Both running very nice specs, so let's just run through quickly some of the specs. They're both running 13.3 inch screens, QHD, that's 3200 by 1820, so full HD on that. The processor is slightly different. The Dell has an Intel i5 running at 2.7 gigahertz, whilst the Lenovo here on the left runs a Core M70 at 1.6 gigahertz. So a bit different. The size difference is also quite remarkable, because then they're both running or using 13.3 inch screens. So the Lenovo is 13 by 9 by half an inch when it's closed up and all that kind of stuff, whereas the Dell is 11.98, so you're gaining quite a lot in the width of it, by 9 by half. 0.5, so it's 0.1 inch in difference between them in terms of thickness, so it's not that much difference there. But in terms of the actual carryability, I think it's quite clear that the Dell has the edge there, because it's so much smaller. Both machines come with 8 gigabytes of RAM, at least in this model, the models we're testing here. The Lenovo comes with a 256 gig SSD, while the Dell has 128 gigabyte SSD. In terms of weight, the Lenovo comes in at around about 2.62 pounds, while the Dell is 2.8 pounds. So it's a chunkier, or it's a heavier little laptop here, ultra portable, I should say. And the price between the two, well, the Lenovo comes in at $11.99 with this spec, and the Dell comes in about $12.99 with this particular QHD spec, although it does start at a lot less entry level. So let's do a quick run through just of the Dell. Very nice screen, as you'd expect. This 3200 is a beautiful result. You get a lovely crisp display. The interesting thing is the benchmarks on this. The Intel i5 is a really meaty processor, and it really can thump through the data. And this is noticeable in terms of comparing it with the Lenovo, which with the Core M has a distinct disadvantage. I'd say 2 to 1 in favor of the Dell in terms of sheer raw performance. We'll look at that later in terms of the gaming and stuff like that. Another thing which some people might find a little bit annoying about the Lenovo is it does come with an awful lot of Lenovo stuff. Now, this is either something you like or you hate, the bloatware that's put on. So you get lots of Lenovo apps, lots of different things which come with it. Whereas with the Dell here, you're basically just getting a very sort of mean and lean Windows installation, which a lot of people kind of like, because they don't want too much crud on their stuff. It's a personal choice. What about actually the ergonomics of it? Well, the keyboard of the Dell is typical, very highly responsive and nice clicky kind of keyboard. And you've got a beautiful trackpad under here, which is again very responsive and nice to use. So there's no faults there. The Lenovo has a slightly more chiclety keyboard, I have to say. It's not quite as clicky as the Dell, but it's still a very nice kind of keyboard. It's not unpleasant to use, and because the Lenovo is wide, of course, I think you're probably going to find you get a slightly wider key spacing, which is kind of nice if you're a fast typist. The thing I like about the Dell, of course, is that it's backlit, so you just kind of see that there. So that's quite nice at night, whereas the Lenovo's not. I do like backlit keyboards. Trackpad on the Lenovo, yes, it's good. Again, it's very responsive, does the job. And the screen likewise on both of these are very responsive screens. If I punch ourselves through here, you know, touchscreen is a touchscreen. The main difference between the Lenovo and the Dell is that's the limit of what you can do with the Dell in terms of screen flexibility, whereas with the Lenovo you've got this, which is what the thing is sold on, this phenomenal ability to use it as a sort of a gigantic tablet or stick it upright like that with its own stand. You know, it's a hugely flexible laptop. But there again, different courses. You know, the fact that you've got less power, and a lot less power we're talking about, may mean the difference for people who want to get serious work done on a ultra portable. Yeah, horses for courses, eh? So here's Asphalt 8 playing in full glorious QHD on the Lenovo. You can see hopefully the kind of resolution and quality. It's slightly, it's okay. It's the frame rate seems to be fairly decent, but when you get onto the Dell, we'll see in a second, you may notice. Oops, let me just take down the sound. In fact, let me just do that. So here we are on the Dell playing the same Asphalt, just slightly smoother. The i5 really just giving a slightly smoother kind of response, more grunt. Same amount of RAM, but just more simple CPU power makes it a much better gaming option. I'll just turn that down. And louder, nice loud speakers on the Dell, I have to say. Very nice. You see, it's a very subtle thing, but definitely noticeable. So let's have a look at the ergonomics of the different models. You've got here the USB power support, HDMI out, USB, the SD support there. Multi-card reader, power, that's the reset button, and this is the volume up and down. Headphone socket here, and another USB port which can give out power. This is the special hinge that Lenovo is very proud of, which gives you the flexibility to do back and the contortions. So if we take a look at the Dell's specifications and ports and stuff, we get USB, headphone socket, battery sort of indicator, and we get an SD card slot here and another USB port. So it's not bristling with ports, but it's got, and this is a display out and power display out, so not HDMI. So it's not bristling with ports, but it has enough to do most of your basic needs and requirements. The USB ports, like the Lenovo, can also be used for charging up your smartphones even when the laptop's not on, which is quite nice. Well, one of the major things about these small ultra portable laptops is the battery life. Both Dell and Lenovo here make significant claims about the battery life of these computers. For good reason. They're both trying to beat or match and exceed the MacBook Air, which currently is the darling of the long battery life crew. It's almost impossible to give, benchmarks don't do anything, and you can't really get an idea from even running movies or whatever it is, because it's all dependent on so many things. For instance, if you turn down the brightness significantly, you will increase your battery life significantly, especially on these QHD screens, which are the screens which consume the most power because they have so many pixels. All that we can really say is you're likely to get yourself a very solid day's worth of use out of either of these laptops, as long as you're not doing anything crazy like running them fully on games on full brightness. That's going to take your battery life down to, again, around the 5-hour mark or 6-hour mark or whatever on both of these machines. But they will keep their battery life significantly longer than anything else. I mean, we've been playing around with this for a couple of hours, and we're just down to 67% on the Dell here. And let's have a look at the Lenovo, if I can get that right without messing up. There you go. The Lenovo's sitting at around 73%. So, you know, this is gone are the days where you used to run a laptop and it would last 2 hours. We're now in a situation where these super light and super processed, you know, the processors coming from Intel are really quite spectacular in terms of their power miserliness. Gives you not only the performance and the beautiful screens, but also a really, really good battery life. I don't think you're going to find much of a disparity between the two of these on day-to-day running if you're frugal and you're careful in how exactly you manage your screen brightness and other bits and pieces. So here's the big million-dollar question: what's the verdict? Which is the best of these two powerhouses? Well, I'm going to hedge my bets here deliberately because they both have incredibly strong personalities. If you want a laptop which will give you ultimate flexibility in the way you use it, the Lenovo Yoga 2 Pro is hard to beat. You know, this ability to change things around from a tablet format to a sort of desktop viewer format and beyond is really quite spectacular from a machine this thin and this light, and with this kind of performance. So if that's the key aim, then the Lenovo is hard to beat. However, the Dell has very, very strong features as well, and namely the performance with this i5 processor is simply stunning. It's really, really beefy, and in a computer of this size, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it beats just about everything else that we've come across. So if performance is your game, in more ways than one, pun on the word game, but if performance is your bag, then this is really hard to beat. And the thing you love about Dell, which is this very solid ergonomic keyboard and very tactile trackpad and all those kind of things, really stand true here. And let's not forget, of course, you're getting the same screen real estate in a much smaller package. So they're both very commendable. I mean, incredible technology wrapped up in both of these machines, and we have to say that boy, there's no excuse now. Anybody who said the laptop or is dead or the notebook is dead really has to take another look, because these things are spectacular. You know, they really are. Okay, well, there you go. There's our quick head-to-head of the Lenovo and the Dell. As usual, if you've enjoyed this review, please subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more cool stuff like this. Thanks very much.